Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumbles, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and I have to learn how to do that without the Stitcher, which I've been doing for 667 consecutive weeks. So bear with me as I adjust a very commonly said phrase, but I'm so glad to have you here this morning. We're going to do the gratitude sandwich after my Throwback Thursday show because I know you're all waiting very, very excitedly. I have been playing. This will be the third throwback of someone that I cannot do Valentines or SAD, Single Awareness Day, without her. So her name's Dr. Pat Allen. I'm not going to introduce her live now, but I'll let myself in the past introduce her, and I hope you enjoy. Stay. I'll be here chatting with you. I love doing throwbacks from my treasure chest, as one of my wonderful supporters put in the chat. That is where it's from, and I hope you enjoy this as much as I will. I'll be cringing, I'm sure, because she would rake me through the coals of romance. So without further ado, let's bring her on. And there we go. I'm going to leave.
Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. You make me feel like I've been locked out of hell. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Come to be a benefit.
All right. We
on UBNradio.com.
And welcome. My name is Dr. Marissa, your cheerleader for a happy life 88% of the time. And you're listening to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon on ubnradio.com on your phone or computer out of the Sunset Gower studios, where Dexter and Scandal are actually broadcast from or taped in. And I'm here with my very smart station manager, Tony Sweet, and my very intelligent sound engineer, Eric Montgomery. And for my once a month special, the beautiful Sharon Pierre Lewis, who is helping me bring this episode to our deaf community across the United States. Thank you, Sharon. All right. And for those of you who are tuning into the show for the first time, this is a show about hope and encourages us to have happiness in our lives 88% of the time. It's your own reality show, so there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, Kardashians. And I'm your host, Dr. Marissa, an organizational psychologist who's been working with individuals, groups, and companies for over 22 years. Yes, I use oil of Olay, bringing balanced concepts and processes to increase joy and minimize stress at work and at home. And because I'm so shy, sarcasm is another service that I offer. I've been traveling around the world as a motivational speaker, encouraging you to jump off that hamster wheel into balanced living. You may have caught me on a number of Discovery and Learning Channel specials, commenting on why people do weird things at work. You can still see my interview on KUSI News TV San Diego when I'm asked the trick question, are relationships difficult? And now Eric. And now my Valentine's present to you, or for those of you who are presently open to new love, Single Awareness Day. Today's guest, dubbed the Love Doctor by the LA Times, Dr. Pat Allen has been on Oprah 4 times, CNN, Geraldo, KTLA, and is the resident sex therapist on Bravo's hit show, Millionaire Matchmaker. Her best-selling book, Getting to I Do, is in its 30th printing and helping hundreds of thousands of people over the past almost 40 years straighten out their love life with thought-provoking questions like, do you want to get laid or get paid? And advice like, don't go into bed without a contract. Yes, this is an R-rated episode, so if you are at a library listening, move somewhere where you can laugh out loud. Sometimes an embarrassment because there's nothing Dr. Pat Allen won't say. So please help me welcome the one and only Love Doctor back to my studio again, Dr. Pat Allen.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
And it is my pleasure to have you again. And I'm going to get right to it because I've got so many questions from listeners. I've been inundated in my inbox. So I'm going to start with one because Valentine's Day is coming up. If you are a person that wants a marriage proposal and you've been with a guy for 5 years and all the hinting around has resulted in nothing, is it time to give up?
I choose to believe that if there's chemistry, you really need to owe nature, God, whatever you want to call it, the responsibility of taking action. And the action that a woman would take if she's been with a man for a long time, and if he's had intercourse with her, is to say to him, honey, I want to talk to you about our relationship. Is it convenient? Yeah, what is it? His eyes will roll naturally. And then you will say, I have so enjoyed. How long did you say this person had been?
5 years.
5 years. I have
5 years,
so
2 weeks, 3 days, and 7 hours.
Our dating relationship of 5 years. However, my dream, my goal is to be married to a nice man, and to share my life with somebody as a team member. So I'm going to say to you that, I'd be more than willing to continue going to the movies, dinner, whatever, but I'm no longer going to be willing to have intercourse with you. I'll hug and kiss, but I'm not going to have intercourse without an engagement ring. And so it's okay with me, and if it's okay with you, I will start dating other candidates for marriage along with you, but no more intercourse.
And you do this work with many people. You have 2, one in LA and one in Orange County.
Yes, I do. What I'm saying is what I know works, and here's how it works. You either get rid of a deadbeat that you've wasted 4 years on, because I really want an engagement or a wedding at the end of a year, unless he's in, internship or taking the bar or something that is in your best interest to live patiently through, or he's in Afghanistan, for God's sake.
Okay, so there are exceptions to this. So if they're in med school or they're finishing something off, then
you can set a date which might be extended past 1 year.
Okay.
See, relationships come in courtships, dating, and commitment. The courtship period is when one person, straight, gay, or lesbian, is the yang energy of action, and is calling, dating, bringing you a flower, taking you to dinner. You can tell a courtship because it's so unbalanced. One person chasing another person with niceties,
Mm-hmm.
pleasantries, and the other person appreciating it for at least 3 dates. Now, if at the end of the third date, the receiver knows there's no place to go but to tell the person, you know what, I've so appreciated this courtship period, but I don't want to use you or lead you on. So I must tell you, I don't have romantic feelings at this time. And if you date me, we're friends until further notice.
Mm. Yeah,
That
that's the duty dating you taught me.
That's the duty dating. And it's what tells them that you're a person of integrity, not just a user of human beings' finances.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there is chemistry, you can tell it because the courting person will say, you're still on Match.com. I'm off. I want you to get off.
Uh-huh.
And then the receiver says, well, this is wonderful. I'd love to get off. But first, I want to know what your thoughts and feelings are about marriage, long-term commitment, monogamy, sexually, socially, and continuity. Are you moving to Europe, or what are you doing
Mm-hmm.
in the next 6 months?
But isn't that a heavy conversation to have after the third date?
No, dear. I'm saying that there's what I said was, if there's no chemistry, tell him that.
Okay.
But this particular piece of conversation is there was chemistry and you're dating 3 to 6 months.
Okay. So 3 to
And
6 months.
And then the courting person says, get off of dating other people.
Okay.
I'm off, you get off.
Okay.
And with that, then the receiver then must check out. Are you telling me that you and I are aiming towards mating, which is marriage without a U.S. government contract, or marriage, which is mating with the government contract, and there's monogamy sexually and socially? You know what that is? That's when somebody says, yeah, I'm not having sex with anybody. Well, who would in an STD world? But they're still portraying themselves to other people as single. They don't talk about being committed to new people. And the third thing is they're not able to keep once a week, at least a weekend a month, do you see, agreement to see. So there's really this big blank, longevity, continuity, and exclusivity. Then you start dating, but dating begins with the wedding night, consummation, where you make love to each other and you know you're going to make love to each other.
So when you start dating someone, like you feel chemistry, someone
Duty
asks you
dating is no sex.
no sex. That for 3 dates, even if there's no chemistry, you still go on the date, and then at the end of the
3
third
times, because one never knows.
Right. That's still the thing, as a student of yours, Dr. Pat, I struggle with that. I'm working on it.
I know that. But do you realize that if you and I were raised to be boys, we pick with our eyes? And there are some very, very nice, successful, not beautiful men out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sophia Loren had Carlo Ponti. He would never classify as a Rock Hudson type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm working on it. I'm definitely working
Okay,
on
so
it.
we pick with our eyes or our ears. And masculine women have a tendency to pick with their eyes, which ends up with pretty guys. Remember, pretty men can do some things well. Not that pretty men have to do everything well.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. So you meet a guy, there is butterflies. This is another question. And you go out on a date and you get to first base and you feel the butterflies. Your contract says no sex until when?
No, wait.
Oh, okay.
No intercourse, oral, anal, or vaginal.
Okay.
You can go hand jobs. You can get naked. He can go down on you. You can do a lot of
I
things
love her.
besides intercourse.
Okay. So first date, you can make out hot and heavy in the car.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's just the home run that you're saying don't do until you have a contract or until you've had that talk
Until
about
he has asked you to stop dating.
if he doesn't ask you to stop dating, do you
Keep dating.
keep dating? Okay. See, that's another, I have to
But
get
he's
over that.
not getting in.
Literally.
Literally. And remember, blowjobs are in.
Oh. Oh, okay. So that's also in. So intercourse and blowjobs are out of the question until you've had that exclusivity talk.
That's right.
Okay.
You have the conversation about monogamy and long term goals and continuity. Continuity is if he's moving out of the country and he's going to come back next year,
Hmm.
maybe you're not compatible. Remember, chemistry is chemistry. It's either there or it isn't.
Right.
Compatibility may be there, but it may not be. Your lives may not fit together. And
Hmm. Yeah.
continuity, longevity, continuity,
Yeah.
chemistry, compatibility, and communication.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to negotiate a deal.
Yeah. So and just because I just ended a relationship, there was definite chemistry, but there was the timing wasn't good. So the
If the
compatibility
compatibility just wasn't there.
there. Yeah. And it's sad, but it doesn't take away from the experience. And I learned an awful lot about myself, and I'm very grateful
You're
for that.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Remember, I don't approve of terminating a relationship until you know it's really done and you've got your part of the lesson.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. I totally agree with you. And if you haven't got the lesson, you have to stay for the lesson.
Yes, you really do have to stay for the lesson.
Yeah.
You can tell you're at the lesson because you're hitting bottom and you're
Mm.
bored stupid and you're apathetic and you're even empathetic
Yeah.
because you know they couldn't do what needed to be done
Hmm.
to be with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you were not willing to do what they wanted. They wanted you to quit your job and move to San Francisco.
How did
Of
you know
course,
that?
not with an engagement. And of course, you'd have to live in your own place or you'd live with him. I mean, there are bad deals out there all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of weird, Dr. Pat. I didn't tell you that he was in San Francisco, did I?
No, you didn't.
That's so weird that you just pulled that out of the hat. Maybe
Yes,
it was
I did.
maybe it was Paul you were talking to. No, I didn't even
No, I
no.
never. Honest to goodness.
That's so weird. That's like
No,
I'm
it
getting
isn't.
goosebumps. No,
It's
you knew.
ESP.
Okay, so you got me. You
All
definitely
right.
got me this morning. So, okay, so let's continue on because there were a lot of questions about sex. And I am determined because it's Valentine's and I have permission on the show for this month to talk about it. So what if there's on the other extreme no sex at all in the relationship? And
I have a little student that wrote a book about no kiss.
Hmm.
She doesn't even allow her Pat Allen students, clients, patients, whatever she calls them. Anyway, she went through my training,
Mhm.
and she doesn't even allow kissing. Look, if you have some kind of religious or moral code that restricts you from doing anything, then you have to find somebody that goes along with it.
Mhm. But what if the sex was fantastic at the beginning and then it's past that year point or it's past the 5-year point and there's nothing. There's just there's nothing.
No,
you mean
nobody,
he's not
nobody.
asking, or you're
He's
not
not
saying yes?
both.
Both. Uh, I want you to know that we in the shrink field
Mm-hmm.
believe that if you're comfortable with sex none or sex once a year, we don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's as long as both of you are comfortable with the decision.
Okay.
The only thing the government wants in a marriage is at least one consummation. Otherwise, you're eligible for an annulment.
Okay. But okay, so I'm going to push that envelope for a second. What is your
Uh,
view
yeah.
about, isn't a healthy relationship one that enjoys this wonderful thing called sex?
Well, making love is not sex, and sex is not making love.
Okay.
People who go for making or having sex rarely make love. And
Mm-hmm.
sad, the men get impotent around andropause time because nature just doesn't support a hot and heavy sex life unless it's based on making love
Mm-hmm.
when you're mature. Now, sure, Pfizer exists and pills exist, but the truth of the matter is people who make love can make love all of their life.
Mm-hmm. And that to me is what perplexes me, that people would have a relationship, and here is one area that is truly a mind, body, spirit, soul experience of
Yes,
having intimacy and having an orgasm.
yes.
I just don't understand how you can have a a, a beautiful relationship and not have that as part of the relationship.
I'll tell you how you can ruin it.
Okay.
Become business partners. I think, what do you think? I want, what do you want? I feel, what do you feel? I don't want, I don't want. Listen to what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Equality in communication is great for business and making money,
Mm-hmm.
and great for being casual friends. It's disaster where love is concerned, and that's parenting, being with your parents, boyfriends, husbands. Equal communication is competitive,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're trying to love someone.
Mm-hmm.
Making love and loving are like waltzes,
Mm-hmm.
but but being competitive is like discoing. You watch people discoing, you don't even know who they're dancing with.
True. And every time I've been to one of your sessions at the theater, there's inevitably a successful woman who asks the same kind of questions that I used to when I was new with you, which is, can't I have my cake and eat it too? Can't I have
Not
you
at
ask?
the same time.
Mhm.
If you can't, if you're with a man and you want to be the woman, the
Mhm.
cherished one,
Mhm.
you have got to remember that he needs respect 24/7
Mhm.
in order to be able to cherish you.
Mhm.
So I teach men, if you're doing business with your girlfriend, your wife, whatever,
Mhm.
you must set aside business time in a separate location. Maybe it's a kitchen table.
Mhm.
Maybe it's an office in the house. But you can't talk business at the end of the couch during a commercial,
Mhm. Mhm.
because what you gradually do is destroy the respectful, cherishing communication. Because you do, I want, I want.
Mhm. Mhm. And
So
and on the other hand, women also, especially the age of, we want to be seen as equal, or we want to be respected, and we want to be able to
that's that's
seen
called
as what we do.
perimenopause. As we aim in, men and women, as men and women aim into menopause for women, when the progesterone and the testosterone impacts our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and men aim for andropause, where they're old, testosterone is going down,
Mm-hmm.
and the estrogen in their system starts melting them into sensitive creatures. Do you know that in the last couple of months there was a message came out about men should have their estrogen checked because men with too low estrogen are subject to depression.
Hmm. That would explain a lot of.
Testosterone is good for muscles and rev up and all that good stuff, but estrogen is an affect hormone and it has a temperamental influence on your personality. When you go through menopause and andropause,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it true that at the other side of that, we both want respect and cherishing? We both are male, we're both female, yin and yang,
Mm-hmm.
you see?
Mm-hmm.
And so the communication has got to be whoever says I think has got to ask the partner how they feel. Whoever says I don't feel very good has got to ask the partner what they think.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be gender specific.
No,
Okay.
could be straight, gay, or lesbian, doesn't matter.
Okay. And it also could be if you're the more masculine in the pair and you're a woman and
Yes,
the man is.
you might need a feminine man. You might
Mhm.
need a wife.
No, I don't. I don't want a wife. I
But
definitely
if you don't want a wife in a man's body, then you have to fake beta. You know what
Okay.
faking beta
No,
is?
please tell me.
Faking beta is really summarized in the definition of the word acquiescing.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of being on this team with this person, you acquiesce, not capitulate, not surrender. You do things his way, her way, as long as you don't have to call the police, a doctor, or a lawyer. If you have to call the police, a doctor, and a lawyer, don't do it.
All right. All right.
But acquiescing is what you do for the team
Mm.
to survive.
That's the
You
tough
wouldn't
one.
do it. You wouldn't do it if you were single.
Okay. I get that.
All
When
right.
I'm single, I'm happy. I like myself and I get to do whatever I want when I want.
When you're
When I'm
away from, when you're out there being running a country or a business or whatever,
hmm But when I'm with him, what
I am a girly girl.
and then do girly girls get girly girl things?
Girly girls, definitely. I am one of those girly girls with a very powerful man
Mm-hmm.
that I see
I was
one
gonna
weekend a month in Houston.
uh-huh.
And when I come back, I put my balls back on, go back to the office.
I used to say people would say, "You're very strong." And I'd say, "Yes, I have balls, but I tuck them in real well." But then I had
That's
so many reactions to that, I stopped saying that. But I just said
okay.
it on the
Well,
air.
I just
But
did
you
it
just
for
did
you.
it. Thank you.
Okay.
But okay.
So,
So Dr. Pat, if
acquiescing,
you
I advise all of your listeners to look up the meaning of the word acquiescing.
hmm
Not surrender, not capitulate, acquiesce.
I do have a friend and she is a strong woman and she likes this guy and he will not send her flowers. He will not send her gifts. He will not treat her the way the girly girl that she says to me that she and I believe her, she's beautiful and she dresses very feminine and she does what you actually she's been to a couple of your sessions, so I told her that part you told me about going to listen to music after a meeting before meeting him, and
Yes.
she's
Oh,
very
so
feminine,
true.
yeah,
So
and
you
but he
melt those little old
refuses.
balls.
But he says that flowers are superficial and she's successful enough she can get her own flowers. I told her to dump him.
Uh, you know what?
What?
Either that
Mm-hmm.
or keep him as a lover if he's a good lover while you're hunting for your husband.
Okay. So how do you okay, so that's how do you do that? Like as a
How do you do
woman,
that?
yeah. Paula tells me the same thing. Date more than one guy at the same
I want you to
time.
date 3 men.
It's like there's something that I can't it just doesn't
Premature monogamy
feel
is
right.
marriage early. Remember, they don't do it until they're in their 50s and 60s.
So she should go and have as much you no sex though. You said nothing without a contract. So no
No, no, no. Listen,
Oh,
she's with a man that doesn't cherish her.
right.
And she, I hope, eventually will cut him off
Uh-huh.
sexually
Uh-huh.
and say, you know what? I don't feel cherished, but I find you, nice for movies, dinners, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even up to and including, you know what? One thing we did have in the beginning of our relationship when you were still trying to cherish me
Mm-hmm.
was a good sex life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to be a monogamous lover with you while I date other people to find husband material. And I understand that you might date non sexually women who don't need to be cherished. They're rich, successful, they just want a trophy boyfriend.
We're talking a lot of condoms.
We're talking about what?
A lot of condoms.
I didn't hear
'Cause
that last word.
condoms.
Oh, God knows.
Okay.
Be safe. What I don't approve of is casual sex with people that are not under contract. And when a woman says, okay, I want a lover
Mm-hmm.
to dehorn me while I'm hunting for my husband, here's what I say. Do you have an old boyfriend, an old husband, somebody where you're not going anywhere else? Don't try to make a lover out of a new person
Okay.
because you're going to have to go through that whole year of falling in love, falling out of love, and then
So
don't do it.
booty calls. That was a question I was going to do after the break, but this is a perfect time for it. So let me be clear.
Yes.
You're saying booty calls are okay and good if you have a contract that's not a marriage contract, that's not a new contract, that is an old contract with someone you've already been with who has decided that they don't want to cherish you, but it is consensual
Or you don't
and
respect them.
why would you have sex with someone you don't respect?
Because
That I
they were
don't
good
understand.
lays. They just happened to quit their job and take up professional gambling.
Okay.
They're not compatible.
So it's okay to have sex with people who aren't compatible as long
That's
as they're
right.
good in
If
bed.
you made a run for compatibility.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll let her know
I'm
that.
just telling you
No,
what
no, 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 no.
happened.
I actually am surprised because this part I heard your marriage contract and I've learned that one. This is advanced that I haven't taken with
This is
you yet.
called a primary relationship. One person only
Uh-huh.
is your lover, and you're under contract, and
Right.
you practice safe sex. But you both know you're not going anywhere,
Okay.
and that
Okay.
you're both dating other people socially,
Okay.
but not sexually. And if you meet somebody that you want to date sexually, you tell your partner.
Mm. And you tell them?
What do you mean you
You
tell them?
tell them that it's not going to work anymore.
I've met
You're
someone I'm seriously interested in.
okay. And so no more booty call.
Naughty booty calls.
No to the booty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hear some music. Thank you. If you've just joined us, I'm sure you're mesmerized. I have the 4-time Oprah guest and the therapist from Millionaire Matchmaker, very successful show on Bravo. And we've been talking about sex, love, romance, booty calls. And we're going to come back after this break and talk a little bit more about, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but whatever it is, it's going to be great. And there's the sound of music reminding me to thank this week's show sponsor. And this is an amazing song called The Tree of Love that actually is running this thing called the 2nd Annual Rhythm and Joy Festival, brought to you by Ricky Byers Beckwith. And it's currently crowdfunding on Indiegogo from now until February 19th. You can go directly to www.raj14.com to choose exclusive gifts for you or a loved one that aren't available anywhere else, such as Raj t-shirts, music downloads, jewelry, and there's even a perk on and many other incredible musicians. Along ideas. Support Raj's Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, and today's incredible guest, Dr. Pat Allen, is joining us, and Sharon Pierre-Louis, if you've noticed, for our deaf community once a month show. And I am going to come back and ask you, I love this on your website. It says, if you're looking for someone perfect, get comfortable with being single. So I know if there's quite a few people that I know who are practicing not Valentine's Day, but Single Awareness Day on Friday, and myself being one of them now. And I'm happily single, by the way, but I am taking any kind of resumes or what I think I want. And I used to have a list of about 20 things. Do you remember that, Dr. Pat? Of things
Sure.
that I wanted, and you told me. Well, actually, Paula told me that I'm not looking for Jesus. So I have to narrow my list to 3 things.
3 things.
That's right. All right. So my 3 things are successful. That hasn't changed. Attractive, which I know you're working with me on continuously, and kind and generous. I'm going to add that 3.5 kind,
Sure.
generous, same thing. So why 3 things?
Well, I do a lot of things in 3s. For
Okay.
example, libido in the first year of a relationship where you want, and then plateau 2nd year, and then mortito the 3rd year if you're not compatible. Do you notice how many things come in 3s, including trinities and all kinds of stuff?
True.
So I plan my life every 3 years. I do a
Okay.
3-year plan. And I've achieved what I wanted in those
Yes,
3
yes,
years.
you have. Somebody asked me how old you were, and I know
I'm-
you're very
I'm
young.
79.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
You really.
It's fun to be young in an old body because you get the assets both ways. You know, they either take care of you because you're old, or they play with you because you're young.
I love you. You're amazing.
I want to remind people they can go to my website,
Yes, please.
drpatallen.com, and they're invited to Los Angeles Odyssey Theater
Yes.
on Monday night from 7 to 8:30.
If you haven't experienced that, you have to go. If you're anywhere in LA, you can plan your trip around that. It's truly a
And we
great
do
experience.
a mingle afterwards for dating purposes.
Yes.
And we have a free meeting. The one in Los Angeles costs $10. The one in Orange County at the Community Center, 19th and Park, is free.
I didn't know that.
And you get to pick my brain for nothing.
Yes, yes. If you don't get this show, you need, sorry, if you want to follow up to this show, you also do private
follow up.
counseling.
That's what I'm giving them.
You also do private counseling, and I think that's
Yes,
important
I'm
to
a
know.
therapist. I have an office in LA and one in Newport Beach.
Yes, and you can call that number.
Right, which is in Orange County, 714.
Go ahead.
No, not 7. That's another number. 949-723-0338. That's Orange County.
Yes. One more
In
time.
LA, it's 310
Mhm.
553 8248.
Perfect. And then if you miss those numbers, go to
.com.
www.drpatallen.com. Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what can we talk about?
Well, if I master duty dating and you're asking me to also um, go out with more than one guy at the same time and also not be so looking with my eyes and look more with my ears. Any other?
Both.
Okay,
Use both of them.
use both of them. What for people who are finding themselves in relationship
Well,
after
let
relationship?
me interview
Okay.
you.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to be respected or cherished first in a relationship?
I used to say both, but I've worked with you enough.
Well, both is
that
narcissism,
yes.
and that means you can only go with zeros or another narcissist.
My sound engineer is having a blast. I hope you know. He's like laughing his butt off today.
Mm.
Okay, so I will say cherished.
You want to be
Yes, I
cherished,
do.
okay?
Hmm.
So you want to be with the man who has the courage to say what he wants,
Hmm.
compete, conquer, and control,
Hmm.
and asks you how you feel
Hmm.
about what he thinks, wants, opinions. You want a man who, if he's going to say something painful, makes an appointment.
Mm.
I have something to say to you that may be painful, like I can't meet you on Saturday, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Is it comfortable for you to hear me talk about it now?
Okay.
That's the second tool.
Hmm.
Third tool, he's angry at you. And I'm telling you, if you want to be a cherished woman, these are the characteristics of a respectable man.
Okay.
The third tool is that when he's angry with you, the first thing he says is, you have a right to say that, think that, feel that, do that. But I want you to do this or that, or start this or stop that.
Hmm.
How do you feel about respecting my request? What can I do to help you and I feel better?
Okay.
And the fourth tool, 90% of all communication is nonverbal. Tones of voice, gestures, the bird, the body language. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So what you do when you see that, when he sees that in you, he says, I sense by the look on your face, the tone of your voice, the body language, your gestures, you're upset about something. Am I right? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Is it comfortable for you to talk about it now or when today? Now. Okay, let me know. Blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
What can I do to help you and I feel better? And the last tool is timeout. You know the T sign
Hmm.
the referee does?
Hmm. Yeah.
If you ever do that to a gentleman, hopefully he says, what are you doing? I'm signaling you to ask me what you and I can do to feel better.
Hmm.
Now, those are the characteristic communication techniques, my androgynous semantic realignment. These are the techniques that men use that are gentlemen.
Hmm.
And for you as a woman, now I'm going to give you yours. These communication tools will elicit cherishing from a man.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Never, ever ask him what he psychologically feels. Are you happy? Are you sad?
Okay.
Always ask him what he thinks, what he wants, his opinions, his suggestions, and what you can do to help you and he do it.
Okay. I passed that one.
Now,
Next.
here's what you can do. You can ask him what he feels
Uh-huh.
if he's puking or bleeding.
Okay. Other than
Now,
that, what do you
here's
think?
a biggie one.
Okay.
When you want to teach, preach, bitch, moan, or question him, you have to make an appointment.
Okay.
Honey, I have an idea about where to go, what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and who to do it with. When would it be convenient for you to hear me today?
Okay.
It's not permission, it's an appointment.
Okay.
But he's irritated you. He did something you did not like, but you didn't have to call the police. You didn't have to call a doctor, and you didn't have to call a lawyer. But he did something to irritate you. Here's what you say. Honey, you had every right to say that, think that, feel that, do that. But I'm uncomfortable with it. I don't feel good about it, and I don't want to experience this. What do you think about not doing that, or do it this way? And what can I do to help us do it?
Okay.
And then the last tool is timeout, the sign.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
So those are the communication techniques that I've contributed to the world of mating and dating and marriage, which have gotten people into a compatible communication state wherein they can negotiate time together, time alone, time with others, where they live, how they handle money, how they play non-sexually and sexually.
How often do you and your guy talk? I know you see him once a month, and that's
We talk every single day,
okay.
and we see each other from Friday till Monday morning, once a month. And he orders people to leave us alone.
Okay, that's nice. So
Yeah.
so if there's a guy and he doesn't have the time to talk once a day, that's
Oh, I don't know if I could stay. No.
yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Okay. Thank you.
It isn't, and I don't want texting. I want to hear his little voice say, "I love you."
Yeah.
You
So if
know?
I've asked for that and it's not possible,
Well, let me hear how you asked for it, if you don't mind.
sure. I
I'm going to
said,
be him,
okay.
whoever him is.
Yeah. Um I want to share who my life, and I am a
Wait a minute. You're
passionate
saying this to him?
and so I would love to talk.
Wait a minute.
What?
You didn't make an appointment.
Oh, no,
Honey,
I did.
I want to talk about our relationship.
Oh, I did. No. I did. I learned that much from you. So
Wait a minute.
I
You
made the
didn't do it
appointment
when we
on
were
Saturday.
practicing.
Okay.
There are people listening to
I'm
us.
sorry.
And if I let you get away with this, I'm at fault.
Okay. Honey, there's something that I'd like to talk to you about.
Wait a minute. Two people want to buy your car. One would like to buy it and one wants to buy it. Who's going to have the money?
The one who wants to buy it.
You know, you said would like.
Okay.
And you know what you signaled me, who is him? That you don't expect to get what you're asking for.
Okay.
Isn't that heavy?
It's heavy.
Take 3, dear.
Okay. I want to talk to you about something. When would be a good time?
Wait a minute. There's 4 signs of a loser in communication. Evasive. I want to talk to you about something. Do you know what a something is? I don't know what a something is.
I know.
Evasive, secretive, condescending, and abrupt. You were evasive. That's the second mistake. Take 4.
Okay. And we're running out of time. Otherwise,
yeah,
I would
right.
take
Okay.
4. But so the bottom line, though, is if I had followed all of that and someone is unwilling to negotiate
Let
at
me let me
all.
let me be you.
Okay.
Honey, I want to talk to you about something about our relationship. Is it convenient? Yes. You know, I've appreciated being with you, but I'm not comfortable with your lack of phone calls. I'm not comfortable with texting. I'm not comfortable with not being cherished for my feelings and asked how I feel. And so, if you're really not willing to give that to me, I'm going to stop having sex with you and start dating other people to find a man who will do this.
Mhm.
What do you think about what I'm asking?
That's the best that he can do right now.
Then that's it.
And that's why I'm single again.
Pardon?
And that's why I'm single again. So I'm
I
grateful.
understand, but do you hear
No, I hear
how
it.
I structured it?
I hear it, and I didn't do it perfectly, but the gist
But
of
you
what
got
you're
the
doing,
message
but I
out.
got the message out. I did.
All right.
And I'm so grateful that I actually brought it up with you, because I feel validated because it was a hard one to let
Isn't
go.
that good? Isn't that good?
No, it's very good. It's very good. Thank you so much once again for
Thank
taking the
you.
time and coaching me always, because I know that you have my best interest at heart. And
Very much so.
I know, and I love you, and thank you
I
so
love you
much.
too.
And happy Valentines.
Going to do it.
All
I'm
right.
doing it where he is in Houston.
All right. I'm glad. All right. And that was the amazing Dr. Pat Allen, who just is a plethora of romantic success in relationships and coaching. Thanks again to her. And wrapping up today's show with a few very brief.
And I'm back. I don't know if I can get away with having that on the morning show next week, but we'll see. Wow. If you've just joined, thanks for being here. We have been listening to my first interview with Dr. Pat Allen years ago. I think it was 2014. And she subsequently came on 5 times. Until I probably got tired of being raked over the romance calls. As you can see, I I I'm still happily single, celebrating Single Awareness Day, also known as Valentine's Day, and she always gives me lots to think about. And so, some have said, well, if you had followed her method, you'd be married by now. And I have to be perfectly honest and put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room, which is I still am holding out for a man who can respect and cherish me, and that I don't want to pick. And I know that makes me a narcissist in Dr. Pat's book, but there's just something about the the words and the feeling tone around um dumbing down is not the word I want, but being diminutive is not exactly my strong suit nor my desire. And doesn't mean I don't want to. I'm a great cuddler and I will definitely stand down when I'm in a relationship. But it is, I have to say, I don't think I'm alone. I think for a lot of strong, successful professional women, this is the one area. It's so funny how you can be so large and in charge, or very happy and comfortable in what you're doing, and yet when it comes to your personal life, it's just that Achilles heel. And I try everything once, so I tried that method, and maybe if I had done it more correctly, I would be married again. But I have to be truly honest here, for the Valentine season, that the best relationship I have is with myself. And I think that is the foundation to a good relationship with anyone else. And I'm looking for a guy who has that same really great relationship with himself, who is like respectful and like wow for me, and I am respectful and wow for him, so that the respect goes both ways, and then the cherishing goes both ways. So yeah, I'm going to hold out for that. That's it for today's Throwback Thursday, where I go back into my treasure chest of past interviews, 1,328 podcast shows as of today, over 667 consecutive weeks. And as usual, I'm just so delighted. Thanks for joining me today, now or later. And thanks, Leo, for identifying in the cashew gallery. I know a lot of you have me on your playlist when you drive back from work. So shout out to all of y'all. And let's see, tomorrow is Sad Day, Single Awareness Day, or Singles Celebration Day, and Valentine's. It'll be a week from that, but still in the time period of the month of Valentine's when this airs on my KCAA NBC News Radio channel, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, and number one talk in the IE. Thanks to you all. We'll be back tomorrow with Straight Talk with James Hawthorne, who got to celebrate the big 4-0. I got to go to his fabulous birthday party, courtesy of his beautiful mom. You'll see that on my social today, Doc Balance on Instagram, Dr.Marissa everywhere else. Please do free subscribe to this YouTube TV channel of mine, where you can watch and listen, or just listen. And we'll be talking about chemistry in honor of this season. So remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through, inner peace. And now go and have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa.